Hello, it's Glenn Hairston, and with another Tai Chi talk here. And today's topic is the importance of starting from the beginning with push hands. And I get a lot of people who come to me for Tai Chi coaching in terms of helping them understand a little bit more about their practice, whether it's forms practice. Predominantly push hands is the primary reason, and one of the main problems that is apparent is that many of these individuals have had no formalized training in push hands, and for that matter, many of them have no formalized training in Tai Chi. There's a lot of individuals who are attracted to the sport of push hands, and they just sort of jump in with some of their friends, and they practice what they perceive to be push hands and try to develop the skill, with the main concept being to try to push their opponent. Whoever gets to push in, they get a point, they win, etc., etc. That's a very difficult thing to do. It builds a lot of bad habits. You know, many of these people come to me and they say that they haven't been able to excel beyond a certain point. They haven't been able to push individuals. They get pushed all the time. They fall off balance. They're just not able to respond properly in what they believe in push hands, a proper response from the things that they read, the things they see in the movies, and the things that they're trying to make happen. The problem with the freestyle push hands that many individuals just jump right into and try to compete in, or just practice and have fun in, is that freestyle push hands is only expressing the accumulated understanding and experience that's obtained from all the basic push hands methods and training. So if you've not had the basic push hands training, there's not really much for you to properly express. So you're not going to do very well. You didn't give yourself the opportunity to properly develop. It's sort of as if you wanted to play basketball, but you never learned how to properly dribble or bounce pass or do a simple layup. And these are all the fundamentals required to properly play basketball, and then you wonder why you don't do well when you're on the court trying to play a game or express your abilities with playing basketball. So it does require a certain foundation. Now, at a minimum, there's at a bare minimum, there's like approximately 8 basic push hands methods. Now, there's many more, but I'm just saying at a minimum. There's push hands with fixed steps. Generally, people are aware of that, where you're not walking, you're not moving your feet. But within that, just within that fixed steps, there's approximately a minimum of 8 practices. You know, pushing single push hand with a plane circle, single push hands on a metric circle, double push hands on a plane circle, double push hands on a metric circle. There's all different types of double push hands, various with single push hands. And all of these are designed to develop specific skills. Some of them focus more on the usage of warding off skill. Some of them focus more on the skill of rollback. Some of them focus more on the skill of actual pushing, so on and so forth. And intertwined with all of those skills are all the levels and degrees of sensitivity and listening energy and et cetera, that goes along with those various levels. In other words, someone who's doing a basic type of push hands, the most basic type of push hands, is not going to be working on a very high level of sensitivity because there's so much other basic foundational things that they need to acquire, such as being able to hold a proper stance, having strength in the legs, not getting tired out. I've seen people who couldn't even maintain a stance while they're pushing hands because their legs begin to hurt and they have to take breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all during the course of development. But the problem is you have to be involved in that those developmental stages. That doesn't occur when someone just says, hey, let's push hands, and you just jump in and you do freestyle, and someone pushes you and you stop them from pushing you the best way you can, quite often using muscular force, and you try to shove them the best way you can, quite often using force to try to push through their force, because they're doing the same things in terms of trying to stop you from pushing them. You know, force generally comes at somebody and they try to hold their ground because in many instances, if you get moved, that's a point. They look at that as being negative. And they never really learn what yielding is all about, what neutralizing is all about, what sticking, adhering, and following is all about. Many times people hear of these terms, they read of these terms, and they hear of these terms. However, they never really understand them nor apply them to their practice. They seem to be forgotten once two people touch hands. And that is primarily due to the fact that they never were properly and formally trained starting from the beginning. So the important thing here is, if you want to actually learn push hands, which is only part of a bigger picture, it's not the most important part of Tai Chi or Tai Chi training, it's just part of a system. But if you want to understand it and you want to learn it, take the time to find a teacher, a coach, someone that knows and understands it, and start from the beginning. And if in fact you're trying to move people around, push and pull and shove and so forth from the beginning, if that is the objective, then something's wrong. That shouldn't be the objective. You first need to learn the proper skills that each basic push hand method has to offer. And you need to take time to develop those skills. Just because someone says, hey, here's a basic training method, and you do it for a day or two or a week or two, doesn't mean that you've developed the skill or learned what there is to be learned from that particular practice. It takes months and years, because along with learning those movements, there's so many other things that your body's becoming acclimated to. You're learning how to be soft at the right time, like when to be yin, when to be yang, how to give way and yield, and so forth. There's so many other things, and you're not just training your body, you're also training your mind. It's not just your body that has to yield. I mean, if your mind isn't yielding, if you have a mindset, I don't want to lose, this is a competition, then your body is going to follow the mind. Remember, the chi follows the E, right? The energy follows the mind. So if your mindset is like, I don't want to be moved, you're going to be stiff during your practice and not able to express properly the skills that Tai Chi, or that push hands, excuse me, represents. So keep all of this in mind. Try to learn properly. Try not to waste your time. I mean, your time is the greatest commodity that you have. You can't get time back. Time is real currency, right? You can make more money, you can't make more time. Use your time wisely. Otherwise, you'll be looking back in 5, 10, or 15 years of practice with the same level of non-skill and saying, I shouldn't have wasted my time. I should have actually taken the time to do it properly. Here's an old saying that says, and I used to say it to my children, particularly when they were washing dishes or something, and they do it real quick because they wanted to go be with their friends or something. Say, it's never enough time to do it right, but always enough time to do it over, right? Because if you don't do it right, you're going to have to do it over in order to get it. So my advice is, do it right. And we'll see you next time for Tai Chi Talk. Take care.